Hello everybody, and welcome to Northern Card Gaming. My name is Andrew Bryant, and today is the first episode of Theorycraft, the show where we take new cards and see if we can make a deck around them. We are looking at Shining Legends today, and we're looking at a very specific card today from Shining Legends. It is, of course, Raichu GX. Raichu GX is a card that has 120, that'd be horrendous, 210 HP, standard HP for Stage 1 Pokemon. People like got a support of 210, and it's a standard sort of HP for these, Stage 1 attackers. And it's got a retreat cost of 1, which is not as good as the free retreat that Raichu Circle Circuit had, but it's better than 2. Resistance to metal is really good because it means your Metagross match is already amazing, but it's even better now. Your weakness to fighting is not great because of Gallade, and people can take in Marshadow and all that sort of stuff. So, it's annoying. The same weakness as Darkrai has. And speaking of Darkrai, this is the attack that we're looking at today for double colorless energy, but really it's 2 lightning energy. Powerful spark, 20 plus 20 for 20 more damage times the amount of lightning energy attached to your Pokemon. This is Darkrai EX's attack from Breakpoint, but on a Stage 1 GX with more HP and potentially a better type to hit, because then you're not getting resistance against Gardevoir. So that's really the attack we're looking at. The Thunder attack is quite good as well. 3 energy. Really, it's 3 lightning for this deck. 160. It does 30 damage to himself. It does mean you're in range of Drampas and stuff. But it's a pretty good early attack, I suppose, you can use to really start hitting a lot of big numbers against loads of different decks. And then later on, you can hit with Powerful Spark for a lot more. But we're going to try and make this card work, because I love that attack. I've done a video about how much I love Darkrai. I've done a video about Xerneas Break, and I want to do a video about Raichu and try and making it work. So what do we have that can hopefully make it work? Well, we have Raikou. Raikou from the same set, Shining Legends. 120 HP, ain't great because it means Guardian needs 1 less energy. It means Bully doesn't have to discard the energy. 130 would have been brilliant, but because of the fact it's 120 means that really they need 3 energy. Guardian needs 3 energy to knock it out, and Bulu can knock it out with absolutely no discarding of the energy, making the Bulu match possibly worse than it had been. But that's the sort of stuff to take. But the reason why we're playing it is because of Booming Thunder. For 1 lightning, 30 damage, you attach the lightning energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. It is Yveltal's Oblivion Wing, but for lightning. And this is half the reason I think the deck can actually work, because of Raikou being able to do the Yveltal job of slowly building up your Raichu GXs, and then you hitting for a lot of big damage. It's very, very like the old Darkrai. And the amazing thing with it is the cards that were really damaging you early on with Darkrai, such as the Drampas being able to one-shot you 180, that's not an issue anymore because of the HP of Raichu. So, because of the HP of Raichu, I think we're better off playing this than Darkrai, just due to it is a Stage 1, yes, but Darkrai did have the issue of being a bit too low HP nowadays. But luckily Raikou can help us, so that's why I want to play Raikou. 3 energy for 90 is not bad if you're playing against a Ninetales that has the bench barrier one, or than a bench barrier, light barrier one. I guess you can do 90, but it's not great. You have to do a Cocoa spread maybe, because I think you should be playing with 1 Cocoa. So a Cocoa spread might do it, and then you can kill them with this. But it's a very good card, and I think it can work. That's one of the ideas we have for Raikou. The other idea is Electrode. Electrode for the ability has the ability Buzz Up Thunder. Once during your turn, you may knock out this Pokemon, attach it to one of your Lightning Pokemon as a special energy card. This card provides 2 Lightning energy only when a card attached to a Pokemon. So basically, you can knock this out, attach it to your Raichu, and be up and running with your Raichu. It also has the very helpful idea that you can then use the new Counter Catcher from Crimson Invasion, because you go on a prize, and then you can literally Counter Catcher anything on their field and be able to knock it out, and eventually be in the lead anyway. Personally, I don't think this is the best idea, mainly because it's a special energy card, and in the next set or two, we're getting a lot of special energy hit. We're getting the new circuitry, which, by the way, will be going into this deck once it comes out, I think, which has the ability of Aegislash, which you can't damage it if you have special energy on you, as well as the new Kartana, which is basically an A-Hammer, but you can Ultra Ball it. It has the ability of A-Hammer where you bench it and then you can discard special energy. And Obviously, people are going to play E-Hammer, especially with Trample Guard being so big and Gliscopod Guard being so big, and they're so special energy reliant anyway, that really, if you're putting in a card to play special energy, it's not great. I'd rather just have basic energy and not have to worry about all these different cards that people have that affect special energy. So Electrode's an idea. It's not a bad idea with the old E-Hammer, E-Hammer Counter Catcher idea. I don't mind the idea, but I just do think it's not as good as I thought it would be early on, mainly because of just the format around it. It might get better if special energy hate gets a lot less. And the other one is a bit more of a YOLO kind of way, a bit like how the old Dragonair worked, old Dragonair Darkrai worked. We can use Magnezone. Magnetic Circuit, the option like during your turn, you may attach a lightning energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. It is Rain Dance in electric, and it could work wonders. It seems a lot more consistent than Dragonair was, mainly because it's an ability, not an attack, and it means that you can attach as many as you want, and then hit, and then hopefully with EXP, maybe not EXP shares, but mainly just able to keep it on you at all times, and hopefully you just have enough energy on the board to knock out everything constantly. So that's how the Magnezone one works. I think the Raikou build and the Magnezone build are the two builds that should be put together. I think those are the ones to put together. I have put two decks together that I'll show you near the at the end and go through them. And I personally think the Magnezone or the Raikou build will be the two builds that really succeed because of this. So that's really the Pokemon we'll be looking at. Obviously, we'll be playing Lele. Obviously, we might be playing a Tapu Koko. So that's really the Pokemon, I think, the tech Pokemon or the different types of Raichu decks we'll be looking at. Now, when it comes to supporters, there are a few things that are different. From the Darkrai deck, you basically keep the 4-4-4 line, I think, of Guzma, Sycamore, and N. But there's a big difference between the Darkrai deck and Raichu, is that you can use Bridget. You can Bridget out your Raikou and then 2 Pikachus. If you have a Raikou, you can get 3 Pikachus. If you start with a Pikachu, you can get Raikou, Pikachu. You can Bridget out your attackers, and this is important this is a big difference between Darkrai and Raichu in a much better way, because Bridget makes the deck so much more consistent. It means you can get everything out in the board. It means you can start attaching energies to everything. It means you can use Elixir on your Pikachus or even your Raikou. It's a brilliant, brilliant card for this deck. It also helps. It really helps in the Magnezone one, because it means you can Bridget out your Magnemites and your Pikachus. And it is just a brilliant addition, and it's brilliant that we can actually use this card and not have to use Fan Club, get one less card, and it's not as versatile, I believe. So being able to play Bridget is amazing, and I think Bridget will be one of the main reasons actually the deck does really well, is because you can Bridget out everything, and that's what I think is very, very good about Bridget. The other two supporters, are specifically for Magnezone. I don't think you'll be playing these in the Raikou build, but for Magnezone you definitely need them. And one of them is Skyla. Their Decorator Trainer card means you can get your rare candy, means you can get whatever you need at the time, a Field Blower to be able to start using your Magnezones. So I think Skyla will be a very important card in the Magnezone build of the deck. And if you're also playing Magnezone, you may want to think about Clement. Clement is a card that was in Generations. You search your deck for up to 4 Lightning Energy cards and put them into your hand. And because you don't need to play Fisherman, due to the fact you're not discarding the energy, Clement really works for this. Because in theory, you're big enough and bulky enough to be able to keep all your energy on you. So Clement actually might be an okay idea in the Raichu Magnezone deck, just because you don't need to play Fisherman, so this takes the place of your Fisherman. So Clement is not a bad idea. It's quite a cute idea, but I quite like the idea of it in the Magnezone build. So Clement's potential. On to the general items in, I think, the Raichu deck. You'll definitely play Max Elixir. I think it's important for that one. It's not important for the Magnezone list, but for the Raikou list, it's definitely important, because you can attach to your Pikachu, you can attach to your Raikou, you can attach to your Koko, you can attach to your Circuitry, whenever that comes into the format. Elixir is a 4-off in that version of the deck, so I think it's a very, very important card to have. And it's always going to be good. Elixir. It's just in the Magnezone build, you don't need it in the Magnezone, but you do need it in the Raikou build. You're obviously going to play 4 Ultra Balls, that's a given. This is really just looking at the cards that you can change the counts of. Really, Ultra Ball is going to stay at 4. For the, I think maybe both. I didn't put it into the Magnezone list, but potentially probably should have, looking back at it. We like Rescue Stretcher and Super Rod, especially Super Rod and Magnezone. I think that'd be a really, really good idea, especially if you have like Super Rod and Letter and these sort of cards to really get all the energy into your hand. Super Rod would be an inclusion I would make into the Magnezone list. I'll talk about that later on whenever I look at the basic Magnezone list. But Super Rod's pretty important, I think, just to get everything back. And if you discard energy, you can bring it all back, and then you can Letter it out and that sort of stuff. So Super Rod is very, very important. Also gets your Pokemon back if you need it. Same as Stretcher. Stretcher is quite a good card for that instance. You can put it one into your hand or shuffle 3 back into the deck. I don't think you need this in the Raikou build. I think you're absolutely fine. You shouldn't really need it. So it's a potential in the Magnezone list, so is Super Rod, and I think it's quite a good one. And of course, we're talking about the Magnezone list. We need Professor's Letter. Search your deck for 2 basic energy cards. You need them. You need 2 or 3. I put 2 in, but you definitely need 2 or 3 in the deck because they're very, very important for the Magnezone to get as much energy into your hand as possible. And if you are playing the Magnezone build, you need Field Blower because you need to get rid of the tools on Garbodor to be able to use the ability of Magnezone again. So you need Field Blower in that deck. You'll see that the list is a lot tighter in the Magnezone list. Raichu is basically just taking the Darkrai build and then swapping a few cards out here and there for it. So it's a bit more malleable, but the Magnezone one, you're going to fit a lot into that deck to try and make it work. So I think Field Blower is very important for that deck. But we're going on to now the tool cards, and the tools that we'll be mainly looking at are Choice Band. Of course, you need Choice Band. I think you need Choice Band. You definitely need Choice Band in the Raikou build, just because you need to be doing that extra 30 damage. You're not being punished for using the 30 for using Choice Band like you were with Darkrai. You just need the Choice Band, and it's very, very good to be able to just go bam, bam, and kill everything with Choice Band. It means you hit your numbers very quick, a lot quicker than you would without it. And Choice Band's a very, very important card, I think, in the deck. But the other option you can use is an option that's both in Magnezone and in Raikou, is bodybuilding dumbbells. In the same way that you used Fury Belt in Darkrai, you can use dumbbells in Raichu. You can put your HP up to 250, the same as a Metagross, and basically start tanking a lot of hits that you wouldn't have been able to tank with your Choice Bands. So you could, in theory, put these in to really fix your Bulu matchup. Although Bulu does play a lot of Field Blower, so it might be a bit of a moot point. Might be just better to go for Choice Band. But Dumbbell is a pretty good card to have, I think, and it's very, very important. It's not very important, but it's a good card to have, potentially. I think Choice Band at the minute's better. But if there's ever a deck that can somehow keep them on, if you can keep the Dumbbells on to Raichu often, then it's a really, really good choice. But I think Choice Band's better at this point. And of course, we're talking about a Darkrai attack. We're talking about EXP share. I think it's a 4-off in the normal Raikou build. You need to keep all your energy on board. You need to get as many out in the field as possible to try and stop the Field Blowers. You need to try and make as much tool. You need to try and put as much tools out on the field so that they have to really think about the Field Blowers. What are they going to Field Blower? So putting a lot of EXP share down is really important. I think EXP share is an important card, and it's a tool that I don't think you play in the Magnezone build, just because you hopefully have enough energy on the board to kill anything anyway. But in the normal Raikou build, you definitely need it. I think anyway. And now on to really the last thing we're going to talk about is the different stadiums. Now, for lightning types in the standard format, we are very low on stadiums. The only card that we have that has any significance stadium-wise when it comes to actually our type is Aether Paradise, and even that's only basics, so Raichu isn't going to be get affected by this. The original idea, I thought, before I really looked at the actual wording of the card, I originally was to say, well, if you have Aether Paradise and Dumbbells, you can add 280 HP, and then they have to Field Blower that away, so that they're not Field Blowing away your EXP shares, but it's basic, so the idea sort of went mute a bit. It's irritating because I think this would have been quite a good if it had just been normal Grass and Lightning. It might have been it might have been too good. I don't know. Field Blower makes it a bit of a moot point, but it would have been pretty cool to be able to go Dumbbells, Aether Paradise, and then they have to Field Blower that away and not the EXP shares. It's still an option if you want to go like really pure Raikou and then go there and hope that Raikou takes the hits, but I don't think personally it's a good choice. It was just an idea, but it's not a bad idea, especially if there's more basic lightnings that come out later on. That might be an idea. I don't mind it. Field blower makes it a bit not great because of the whole passiveness of it, but it's an option. Now for generic stadiums, I've chosen Potine and I've chosen Parallel City. We'll talk about Potine here first. Potine, you have to get it down after your Raichus. After you've done your Raichus, you need to put Potine down. This just might help in the evolution matchups. You could even try and make Potine Espeon, so you can do 2 shots on everything and then drop Espeon by surprise. But Potine's an idea to try and make everything, basically to try and put everything into range of your attacks. With a Potine and a Choice Band, that is 3 energy. That's a 3 energy attack. That's 3 energy you don't need to put down because you've got the Potine damage and then the Choice Band damage, which is 60. So that's basically a Raichu powered, a normal Raichu with 2 energy on it that you've already got to these Pokemon. So that means with a normal Raichu you're doing 120 and it can ramp up very quickly from there. So Potine's an idea, but you got to make sure you do it before you put down after you put down the Raichus, just so that Raichus can stick to their big HP, and then Potine can affect the other ones. I haven't gone for Potine in my list, but it's a wee idea I want to really work around. The last idea that I actually have put into Raichu is Parallel City. And why put Parallel City in? Well, I think it's the best generic stadium that we have. You're not affected by the red section, but by the red part. You really want to just use the blue on them. It means that if you parallel, let's say, a Gardevoir, and because a parallel play can really hurt the deck, like a parallel play would really hurt. So being able to play your own parallel means that they've got to find a field blower, and hopefully by the time they've got a field blower to use their own parallel, they're wasting a field blower on the parallel on this, and hopefully you've knocked out the Sylveon to really affect it. So I think Parallel City, looking at them, Parallel City with them going to 3 is a really, really good card. It's a generic card that I think would work quite well, and it also means in like the mirror match, if there's ever a mirror match, you're definitely going to have the upper hand because you can put loads out and they can only put down 3, and that will really hurt them in the long run. So I think Parallel's a pretty good choice. So that's really the theory crafting of it. We've looked at all the different variants. I've said Raikou and the Magneton. Those are the decks I've built, so I'm going to show you the builds I've built of them now. But that's really the main cards that we can look at. If there's anything I've missed, please tell me in the comments. But I think this is the main stuff that we've looked at for theory crafting. But let's look at the list now. Here's Raikou. It's very, very basic, as you can see. It only takes up 2 lines. For Pikachu, obviously it's going to be the Nuzzle one. There's a new Pikachu that has 70 HP and it has the same sort of flip a coin if heads active Pokemon Paralyzed. That's the one you want to use, but online I've only got this Pikachu because I don't think it's on yet. But that Pikachu's the best one. I think it's SMO4 promo. I think 70 HP, so that's the best one to go for. But at the minute we're going to use this one. Same attack as the 70 HP one, just it's 10 HP less, which probably will hurt it in the long run. So you want to get the 70 HP one. Obviously a Raikou. No, sorry, Raikou. This is Raichu. Obviously 3 Raichu. You could play 4. I'm going for a 4-3 split. Just because you do want to, I think 4-3 usually go on. They have to kill 3 of them to win the game. So I think 3 is pretty good. A 4th might be better for consistency wise if you want to put a 4th in. So maybe take an energy out and put a 4th in. But at the minute we're going to be doing 3. 3 Raikou. You need Raikou very quickly. So you really want to start with Raikou and then start attacking everything and attaching and then letting this die and then attacking with your Raichu to basically knock everything out and hopefully that everything works out in the end. Booming Thunder definitely helps the Raichu's second attack, which means you can start killing the Bulus really quickly and then later on hopefully have enough energy to start using Powerful Spark. So 3 Raikou I think. I'm playing 1 Coco because it might help the numbers. It definitely helps against the Ninetales because Coco can do a fly and flip and start spreading a lot of damage down while you're still attached to the Raichus on the bench, and also it means that your Raikou can then hit for 90 and then knock out the light barrier Ninetales. So I think 1 Coco is good. It's also quite a good free. It's also got free retreat and retreats. There's no Alter the Moon card for lightning really. So you'll be able to go free retreat and retreat out. You can Guzma and use that Coco as a free retreat, and also it's quite a good Pokemon to put energy on and an EXP share. So I think Flamflip is quite a good card, or Coco, sorry. And also you're playing 3 Lele. You need Wonder Tag. Wonder Tag is always very, very good in this game. Always will be. So you need to use three of them, I think. And obviously you got Energy Drive, which actually isn't that bad in attack. It might be better off in the Magnezone version, but in this one, it's pretty good. I like it. Energy Drive is always quite good. So 3 Lele. So that's really the Pokemon line there. For the supporters, we've got 4 Sycamore, of course. Discard your hand, draw 7s, always very, very good. 4 N, Shuffle Draw is always good. We're playing really consistent 4-4-4. I think you need 4 of each. It's always very, very important, I think. 4 Guzma to be able to KO all the cards in the bench. When we KO, maybe try and KO the Vika Vault so that the Bulu can't really power up. To try and kill all the Lele to try and get ahead in the prize race. Race and prizes. Guzma's always very, very important. These gusting abilities are always very, very good. 4 of them. And of course the 1 Bridget. Bridget isn't as important as it is in the Magnezone list, so we're only playing 1, but it's the best first turn you can get is Lele Bridget and bridging out your entire clan. So 1 Bridget is pretty good. For items, we're playing 4 Ultra Ball. Also 4 Ultra Balls, card your hand, draw for Lele, or go for a Raichu, whatever you need. Ultra Ball is very, very important. 4 Elixir, you can't Elixir onto the Raichus, obviously, but you can Elixir onto the Pikachus and the Raikus and the Leles and the Coco. So every other target in the deck is Elixir targets, so you may as well play the full 4. Then we're going on to the tools. Obviously, we've got Choice Band, 4 Choice Bands, I think. I think Choice Band is better at the minute than Dumbbells, so we go Choice Band and we go hopefully to hit them really, really hard with it. That's not bad. It's not a bad card, of course. Choice Band is always good for extra damage. And 4 XP share. You want to try and keep the energy on board, and you want to try and keep as much damage on the board as possible. So XP share is very, very important. Playing a stadium as well helps because it means that, and choice bands, because it means they may have to take away these instead of the XP shares. So if you spread a lot of the XP shares down, then it kind of baits them into field blowing, so they can try and get rid of the field blowers, and eventually the XP shares will work out in your favor. And lastly, we've got stadiums. I'm playing 2 Parallel. Like I mentioned, I think Parallel is quite a good card in this deck, and I think it's important for this deck. And I think that overall, it's going to be the card that maybe Potown as well. The Potown idea is potential, but I think Parallel is going to be the one we play at the minute. Helps in the mirror match. Helps against always stage 2 decks that need a lot of Pokemon. Helps against a lot of decks. So I think Parallel is a good idea. And lastly, you're playing 15 energy, like the old Darkrai list. We're playing 15. You can maybe make it 14 and then put in something else, but this is a very basic list. I'm only giving you a basic list. That hasn't been tested, obviously. So this is me giving you a very basic list, very theory crafty list. I think 15 is going to be the play. So that's the Raichu list. Now let's look at the bit more interesting Raichu Magnezone. This is the list I've come up with. So we're playing a Breakthrough Magnemite. We're playing 3 of them. This is the one that gives you a free retreat if there's another Magnemite on board if you have it active. So I think the free retreat one from Breakthrough is a good one. We're obviously playing 3 Magnezone. Not playing any We're not playing any Magneton. I don't think we need it. But obviously playing for the rain dance. So you play 3/3 line with no Magneton. Again, 4 Pikachu and 3 Raichu. Same reasons that I put into the other buildings. 3 is enough for you. Maybe 4 as well again. And of course your 3 Lele. No room for a Coco, I think. So that's really the Pokemon line again. For standard items, we of course have Ultra Ball. Again, we have rare candies because you really need rare candy to get your Magnezones out, and it's really important. The deck might be able to go to 3, take another energy out. So 4 might be a better. 4 might be a better idea than 3, but I put 3 at the minute. Probably will end up being 4 in the end. Professor Letter, need 2, potentially even 3 to get as much energy into your hand as possible, so you can rain dance it onto the board. And it's always going to be very, very important in this deck. So Professor Letter will be a card used in Magnezone quite often. 2 Field Blower, because obviously you need to get rid of Garbodor, so Field Blower is really important, and you need to play 2 of them. It's not really important in the Raichu list, but it's on the Raichu list, but in the Magnezone list you definitely need Field Blower. That's really, and then obviously 3 choice band. I even think with the Magnezone, you do not that you don't hit the numbers quick enough. It's just choice band will just help, and I guess you could put dumbbells in instead because you're obviously trying to hit maybe 2 shots or trying to 1 shot, obviously because you're playing the rain dance version. But I think choice band at the minute is better. It just means that you don't need to be rushing as much for the energy. You can be a bit slower and be able to attack for more. That's the items. For supporter, it's a bit different supporter line. We're playing 4N because I think you want to keep the energy and stuff in your hand. So I think N is pretty important. We're playing 3 Sycamore, obviously, because discard your hand draw 7 is always good. 3 Guzma, because Gusting is always good, and I don't think you need 4, because you need room to find 3 Skyla. Skyla is really important to get the rare candies, or the field blowers, or the letters. So you always need to play Skyla in the sort of stage 1, stage 2 decks, with Magnezone especially. 2 Bridget. Bridget's very important in this deck. You can even go to 4 Lele, I think, somehow, and get 2 Bridgets to try and guarantee yourself the Bridget. But yeah, Bridget's really important in this deck to be able to get out your Magnemite, sorry, and your Pikachu. So 2 Bridget's pretty important. And 1 Tecton Clement, just because we want to try and get as much lightning energy as possible. And I think Clement's quite a cute the idea of getting a absolute metric ton. If you have a letter and this in hand, there is 120 damage just on the board instantly because of the Magnezone. So I think Clement's not a bad idea. And really that's it. And of course 14 lightning, because 15 is a bit too much and 14 is enough I think for this deck. Could even go down to 13 maybe and put in an energy retrieval or something. But this deck isn't quite like the Pikachu Magnezone. You're not discarding the energy, you're trying to keep it on. So that's the Magnezone list. Those are the 2 lists, and that's been the first episode of Theorycraft. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked the 2 lists, and I hope you liked me going through all the different cards you can use with Raichu. I'm going to put up the Theorycraft again here. So, hope you like it. I really hope Electrode maybe gets better, but we'll see how it goes. I hope you enjoyed today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Theorycraft.